Welcome to Talksicology, brought to you by Recovery Unplugged, the place where we talk about all things substance abuse, recovery, and mental health, with guests offering varying perspectives and viewpoints. Hosts Joseph Gordo and Jason Cabello share about their addiction and recovery and other serious subject matter through lighthearted yet candid conversation. Hey, welcome to another episode of Talksicology, the greatest podcast in the known universe about all things addiction, recovery, mental health, skateboarding, tattoos, all those things. As you could tell, Joseph is not with us again today. Unfortunately, Joseph is a very busy man. Joseph does a lot of great things. He's out there doing things. He actually had a vacation planned with his wife, but they had to cancel it. So now he's doing all this makeup stuff. He's not able to make it, but I guarantee y'all he will be. The Dream Team will be reunited on the next episode. We will be back together again, strong as ever. So there's something to look forward to. So nothing big that this is the part where Joseph and I usually do our jibber jabber. And, I can't really think of too much. Joseph needs a little sock puppet because he usually can go and ask himself questions and answer them. And he has all these exciting things going on. But me, I'm not so deep. I'm a little bit more just shallow surface level. So I'm not going to waste any time because I think this is a Talksicology first in this format since we've gone professional level here, where we have not one, but two guests and a returning guest back by popular demand. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our guests. Just go as Carlos and Kat.
Yeah. Whoa.
Well, welcome, guys. First time to have two people on at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I didn't understand. I didn't catch what you were saying. I was in La La Land.
Doesn't
And
take
I was
much
like,
to get you there.
I was like, wait, are we the first ones? The first couple?
I'm honored.
And yeah, well, obviously the first couple, if it's the first time two people have been on.
Yeah.
We've had people who are
You're so smart.
We've had people who are one halves of couples. We've had lots of those.
Yeah.
But then first time together. You included.
Oh.
You are old OG Talksicology guest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was
A year ago?
Not a year ago. Probably like 8 months, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
You've just been cranking out the
I thought
episodes.
I was going to get... What?
Yeah,
You've just been cranking out the episodes.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get a part 2.
Well, this is part 1.5.
Okay.
And then you could, I know, because I know
I have a lot to say.
I know, I know. So, Carlos, tell us a little bit for those who maybe are new guests. Tell podcast land a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name's Carlos Truan. I live here in Austin, Texas. I moved here in 1995 from South Texas, down in the valley.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that on the first podcast, about where you grew up and all the homies in the neighborhood and your parents and stuff.
Yeah. So, I'm a tattoo artist here in Austin. I own a small private studio. There's 4 of us that work there. I have a pigment company as well that we make tattoo pigment, and then I have like a little online store. We actually just moved outside of Austin. We live in Pflugerville now.
Okay.
It's about
suburbs,
14 miles from Austin. It's not far. It's like 25 minutes.
Family life.
Yeah, it's rad.
Yeah, you like
our
it?
house is sick. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, our house is cool. We every day we're like, oh man, this is great. We really love it there.
I keep on waiting for an invite. So,
well, we're building a small little DIY skate plaza thing. It's already
really
it's
at
already
the house.
It's already being built. Yeah.
What is there gonna be a curb?
There's gonna be a curb on top of a bank, I think.
Curbs on top of curbs.
Curbs on top of curbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
So-
We'll put all your. So what's the name of your tattoo shop?
Communion.
And what's the name of your pigment company?
Sombra.
And what's the name of your online shop?
It's just it's under communion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
And Kat, let's
Hi.
hi. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. I mean, yes, I'm happy to be here. What?
Don't be nervous. You're just talking to me and Carlos, that's all.
No, I definitely need some soda.
Yeah, there you go. So tell us all a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do?
I live in Austin. Well, now we live in Pflugerville, but I got here in 2014?
14? The end of 14?
So I, before that, I had met Carlos it was like a funny situation, but in 2014, he was going to move back to Austin, and I really liked him a lot. So I moved to Austin.
Oh, you followed him here?
Yeah, I did.
That's so sweet.
Well, she was getting she was in a PhD program in Florida.
Oh, I was in Florida for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, what part?
Tallahassee.
Okay, so right on the cusp of not Florida.
It was. It was awesome.
Yeah, Tallahassee's a little bit different than like.
Yeah, it's
Well, it's a
like
lot
Is it
different.
not in Florida?
It
like
is Florida, but it's like
it's very
Y'all don't
southern
claim
Georgia.
yeah, for like southern Georgia.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've never been there.
State
It's-
capital, so I mean we have to
Yeah.
claim it.
Oh, God.
Just
yes.
like the Texans
right.
have to claim Austin. It's
Yeah.
the state.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's beautiful. So beautiful.
It's
remember,
nice because that's
yeah.
where they start getting like hills,
Mhm.
and it's not so flat and humid all the time. You get a change of weather.
And those century trees, like
Yeah.
hundreds of years old. They're fucking huge, as big as this room or bigger. It's huge oaks, those southern oaks. Yeah. So I was in Tallahassee, and I was gonna do this like PhD program, but I don't know. I wasn't really like too into it. I didn't really like I just wasn't too into it. And I had met Carlos, and I really liked him a lot. I was more into him. So I moved to Austin in 2014. And that's kind of actually where my sober journey begins. I was a little bit sober before that, but definitely like going off self-will, lots of struggle. Couldn't really put time together.
Right.
When I got to Austin, that's when I really did sober up. And when I moved to Austin, we hooked up and have been together ever since.
So you weren't 100% in recovery when you guys met, but you were.
Trying.
You knew that you were trying to change, but just
yes.
couldn't like doing the in and out sort of.
I was probably like in my 30s. I might have been 34 or something, and I had known that I needed to quit. For a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go because we on the first episode we went into Carlos's backstory a little bit. Well, what's a little bit of your backstory? Where'd you grow up, and where and when did you start using and abusing substance? Yes,
plural. I grew up in McAllen, Texas. It's on the border of Mexico down there. And I'd probably say I started using around 12 or 13, something like that. Junior high. And the very first time I ever had a drink, I blacked out. I drank the whole thing. I just like went into blackout mode, just full blown alcoholic right from the beginning.
That's not uncommon either. Like because alcohol was not my thing really. I mean, I drank a ton, but you hear that for people who like alcohol was their main problem. Like day one, I just went to like couldn't go anymore, and then where most people would wake up and be like, oh wow, that's crazy. I don't remember anything. It's like, oh wow. I'm doing that again.
Yeah, same.
As often as possible.
I liked it a lot.
Is that yeah?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the way it made me feel. I definitely like the way it tastes. I definitely like the way you black out and kind of forget everything. And I don't know. It was party. It was party zone. And then I lived on the border, so we did a lot of A lot of partying, lots of going to Mexico at an early age and partying. It was so easy just to go across the border, and you can drink a lot younger over there. And so by the time I was in high school, we were just going like almost as many weekends as we could, just go party in Mexico. And they had the discotheques, the clubs. And so that was like what you did on the weekend. You go party over there and dance all night, come back fucking wasted 2 a.m. That was before they did a lot of there was this group called like Moms. It was called MAD.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah. So that group hadn't formed yet. And so we would all be it was pretty easy to come back wasted. The Border Patrol would know that you were wasted, but they wanted the Americans to be able to enter
Spend their
safely.
money, yeah.
Well, just to enter safely, just to come back, because they didn't want us. They were like happy that we would be. They didn't give us shit at the border. They wanted us to cross back, especially being like so young. They were like, "Get your ass back on this side,"
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing on that side? Get on this side.
It was so different back then. I remember. I mean, this was probably mid to late 80s. Me and some friends had taken his mom's car. We were like, I think the oldest of us at the time was 15. I was probably 12 or 13. Steals his mom's car. We're driving around Miami. We get pulled over by the cops, and we have like open containers in the car, a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And they're just like, get the hell out of here, you little rascals, And
Yeah.
it's like, didn't even call our parents or anything like that. And we were just like,
Damn.
We used to get away with shit like that.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Then they made all these laws. No,
Right.
Yeah, and you get in trouble for
Get caught up easy.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm figuring, since you were in a PhD program, that
Yeah.
you were still able to maintain school.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow I was able to maintain PhD. So I did, I fucked up a lot, but I somehow was able, like, I guess I'm like what they call a high functioning alcoholic. So I was able to continue going to school. And so I finished high school, and then I went off to try to do college. I went to Texas Tech, Amarillo, and I fucking hated it. And also my alcoholism got really bad over there too, because that's all you do in college is drink, especially that kind of college.
Right.
It's like big, heavy fraternity for sorority college. And it's like bad drinking, like it's binge drinking. It's you get on a bus and go party house to house partying, and they pour like bottles of liquor down your throat when you get on and off those party buses. Like, yeah, it's so bad, and everybody's on Adderall just to, like, I don't know, keep up with it, I guess.
At school, it's pretty common for students.
Yeah. Well, I only stayed there for like a year. I didn't really like it. So I came back here and kind of was like lost, didn't know really what I wanted to do. And then when I was about 19, I found a skateboard. And that totally changed my life. Like, made me a completely different person. And now I felt like I had something to belong to. I think I had always like yearned to be a part of something, or I don't know. Always looking for like a different, was definitely searching for something. Anyways, and when I found that skateboard and I started skating, I felt like I had found what I was looking for. And it was just like immediately, I never looked back, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of like punks and like skaters when I was probably in like elementary school. And just like that whole counterculture of just like these guys have their own thing going on.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different than anything I've ever seen in my school or anything like that. And it was just so intriguing to me. And then when I started going to punk shows and stuff, you would see all the different like factions of people. And I was just like, I'm home, like. But the hard thing is like, I didn't feel like I was fitting in completely in the world that I was in, like, junior high school at the time, or even elementary school. But then when you get to those places, it's almost just, it's not like you get in there and they're like, hey, welcome. It was, at least where I grew up, it was pretty like, who the fuck are you? Like, what are you doing, little kid? Like, get out of here. You're going to cause trouble. So you had to prove yourself a little bit more. where I was at. And it seems different now, which is so cool. Like at the skate park, I know we all hang out at like a skate park. You will see all age groups, people from all walks of life, and they get there, and it's just like this huge community. Everybody's super supportive of each other. Everybody, like, you see a little kid like drop in on a ramp for the first time, or somebody who's totally ripping do like the most amazing trick you've ever seen, and you get like the same amount of enthusiasm for both, which is something that I still love about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely enjoy the skate circle community I'm in now more than what I was raised in. That was a lot more machismo, and you were definitely a poser for a long time. You definitely had to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you had to ollie this high.
Yeah.
Or you were a poser.
Carlos is still trying to...
Still a poser. still a poser.
Nah. Carlos rips.
Yeah, Carlos does rip. But yeah, so you start going in and out of colleges, trying to figure out your path, your way, but still just not... something's missing, something's just not clicking.
Yeah, just shit wasn't clicking. I think I've always loved learning stuff. I really do. I love reading books. I love to learn stuff. So I did actually enjoy school. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. And like I wanted to learn the subjects I wanted to learn. And so it took a while, but I finally found a botany program, and I found a professor that like invested time in me and became a mentor. And if he hadn't chosen to mentor me, I would still fucking be lost to this day. But like, he saw potential in me and taught me how to be a student, and I ended up graduating with my bachelor's, and then I went on to get a master's later in life. But he had shown me that I was capable, and he taught me how to study and how to just excel. And so I was able to get my master's, but like, it was really difficult because I was a full-blown alcoholic, and at that time I was already abusing other drugs too. So as I started using other drugs probably in junior high, I remember one of my boyfriends came to school with some... do you mention drugs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we prefer that you talk about what you went through rather than covering it up by saying, I drank, and it's like, there was no drink in there. There was heroin, or whatever it was.
Gotcha.
Heroin in that beer.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I like these little cholo dudes, but it was pretty young in junior high, and he showed up with he had this like the cholo belt.
Yeah, the Army Navy little gold or silver tag one.
Yeah, yes, it had like a tab, and in the back that's where you could hide your drugs. And he came to school with like rochas one day, and I thought he was like the coolest fucking person.
He was explain what rochas are.
It's like a little. Like a pill, like on, like...
No, but not everyone knows what that is. That's a thing from...
It's a roach.
It's like a...
Rohypnol.
Yeah, like a roofie.
Oh, I don't know the real word.
Yeah. Rohypnol.
Yeah. Rohypnol.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, I thought it was cool. And I started to do little bits of that.
Especially for someone who likes to black out, like...
Oh, yeah.
That'll get you there quick.
Yes.
That's a good blackout drug.
Yeah.
It was a little scary. I didn't like it as much as I liked alcohol. Alcohol, I felt I had more control.
Right.
So I wouldn't take the roofies too much, but I did take a couple of them. Just, I don't know. Well, sometimes you just do stupid shit, but I did prefer alcohol.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to this like juvenile delinquent school because I would purposefully not behave. Like, I don't know, like I wasn't fighting other kids, but I would just do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And the principal didn't want to handle me anymore at that school, so he sent me to this like little juvenile delinquent center, and that's where I really learned about all the other drugs out there, because all those kids are doing it.
Yeah. It's so funny, like, it's like, what's that movie, Shawshank Redemption, where the guy says he had to go to prison to learn how to be a criminal. Like, you had to go to a juvenile delinquent school to really learn how to be a juvenile delinquent.
But I didn't really fit in, because I wasn't really like a bad kid.
You were like the good kid at the bad school.
I was the good kid at the bad school. Yeah, like, because of my upbringing, my parents are like, blue collar? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, working
class. Yeah, working class. They provided for me. I just wanted to misbehave. I just wanted to be a bad kid.
Fun, you know?
It was
Yeah.
party times, but I wasn't bad enough at the bad kid school. So they didn't like me. So I needed to get the fuck out. So
Right.
I got out of there.
So was it like
Went to the good kid
attention? Was it like an attention-seeking thing? Was it like you
Probably.
had a problem with authority or a little bit?
That too.
Yeah.
Still do.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
It's fun to be bad.
It is.
Probably. My parents, they were definitely there, but they fought, like argued all the fucking time,
Like-
every day, all day.
Was
They
it
still
violent
fucking
or
do
was it just more like bickering? all the time?
Sometimes it would get violent.
Yeah.
Never like black eyes or anything like that, but definitely pushing up against walls, yelling, screaming. Like I've never seen my parents give each other affection, not once. Like I've never seen them kiss each other, hug each other like lovingly, be affectionate, like I love you. And I remember my like never being good enough for my father and him always being like, that you made a fucking A-. What the fuck? You should be making A+. You know, A- wasn't good enough. Running, like getting second place in a race was not good enough. Why am I not getting first? So that kind of thing would just like piss me off. But then at the same time, I was also constantly seeking attention because I wanted somebody to tell me that I was good enough. Still kind of have that weird trauma today, but like, so I think that I acted out a lot with the alcohol, like, and then you get to a point where it just takes over and consumes your whole life. And even if you don't want to do it anymore, you're just stuck in it, and that's what you're doing. That's the life you've made for yourself.
Yeah.
Those are the people you've, brought in closer to you, and it's hard to get out.
It is. So that's where I find addiction or alcoholism is defined. When you get to that point when you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like you wake up in regret, or you just feel like, God, like I'm not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. But then you can't stop and you keep on going through it. That's where this thing that I have, that other people do have, and some people don't have. Like I know plenty of people who just like, they could pick up a drink and be like, okay, well, I'm starting to feel it. I'm going to put that away now. Or like, oh, I tell this story all the time. I had a friend who I was in elementary school with. We were smoking some dirt weed back in the day because that's all you could get. It was like dirt weed with seeds and stems in it.
Yeah.
And he's smoking it, and it popped. The seed popped when you smoke a pot seed. It does like this loud pop, and he got so scared that he'd never touched a drug again for the rest of his life.
Wow.
Like,
That's all it took.
that was it. And like I still talk to him on Facebook every now and then, and I just laugh. I'm just like, that's still.
funny.
He was like, that was it for me. I just had to have that one thing that scared me straight. And fuck, like a pop.
They're
know?
wired different.
They are wired different, and like that. But that feeling. So let's get to that feeling that you started to have when you say, Jesus, this isn't really working out for me. How long from the first time that you had that feeling to when you actually
Long time.
got yourself some help?
Yeah, long time.
10 years?
I was not ready to stop in junior high. I was not ready to stop in high school. Got in a lot of trouble in high school, and they had introduced me to some like drug programs. It was called like PADAP. I don't know if anyone's heard of that, but the PADAP house. It's in McAllen. It's like
in Brownsville too.
also. So I went to the PADAP house and saw a bunch of these like kids sitting around in a circle talking about like drug addiction, and I thought it was fucking wacky. I was like, I'm not coming here. It's weird. Y'all are talking to like a therapist. That's weird. Oh shit, there was a time when my parents wanted to lock me up in the mental institution because like I remember the day my mom put me in the car and was like driving me there. I fucking jumped out of the car and ran away. So I'm not going to a mental institution. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking tell them that you're child abuse. Like I would scream that at them every time they would hit me. I'm going to call CPS on you. Because they would like, I was so bad they didn't know what to do and they would like hit me. Anyway, tangent.
No, this is what we do.
I think in probably like late high school, I had started to have some experiences where I thought, wow, I really can't handle my shit. Like people are getting upset with me. Like people I like are getting upset with me. I need to start controlling my drinking.
Right.
And I think so. At this one point in my life, I got into really big trouble. This was like high school time, and someone pressed charges on me, and I think I had to go to city jail. I went to city jail overnight, and someone pressed charges on me, and then I think I put together 9 months because my dad got me on. He had a really stern talking to me, and he was like, "Look, Claudia Alejandra Tamez, you are fucking up big time. You need to like change your life. You're not gonna be anything." So it was a pretty bad fuck up. So I think I stayed sober for 9 months, and then I said,
Can you tell us what it is?
I gave my ex a black eye. I punched him in the face because he was cheating on me. We were at
I don't know. I don't think that's it.
I had like lived in his little house for a little while, and then we had a fight in the morning about the toilet seat because I had asked him to put the seat down because he was pissing on the fucking seat when the seat was up in the middle of the night or whenever. I'd like go and sit down on the toilet, and I'd sit on that cold ass skinny little rim, and there was like piss on it, and that's so gross. And I yelled at him. I was like, "Put the fucking seat down." And he was like, "This is my house. I'll do what I fucking want." And then so I stole the keys to his car and went and got like drunk, and then it got really worse, and I got high and just whatever. And we were having a party that day also.
So you're pre-gaming it hours and hours before the party.
Yeah, bad. Yeah.
And what are you getting fucked up on? Roofies still, or is it?
No, it was some like alcohol that was like Hennessy.
Okay.
Yeah, strong shit. And I don't really drink that,
Right.
but that's what was there. So I drank the Hennessy and I smoked some weed or something, and then came back to the party. Well, came back to the house for the party that we were supposed to have, and this is where it's fucked up. His brother had a girlfriend. They weren't dating anymore. He was sleeping with that girl, and she was at the fucking party. So when I was like, "Hey, come outside. I need to talk to you." And I just like popped him, and everybody got mad at me, and they called the cops, and the cops had to come get me from the house, and I was wasted.
Yeah.
So I went to jail, and then I put together 9 months, and then it ended with me, I think, being like, "All right, I got this. Like, I didn't drink for 9 months. That's control.
Yeah.
I got control now. I can definitely have one. I cannot have one."
Yeah, that's another thing that defines this thing that we have. We had a guest on a couple weeks ago. She works at Recovery Unplugged. Her name is Brittany O'Malley, and she had like, I think it was 3 DUIs within a month. And then like her dad came to pick her up from one of the times, and he was like, "What do you want out of life?" And her answer was, "I just want to be able to go to a party and drink one solo cup worth of alcohol. That's what I want out of my life." And it's like, I could relate, because I remember being like, if I could just shoot like one dilaudid a day or something like that, if I could make that my one thing, I can be a functioning member of society. I could get a good career going, because I'm like fucking shooting up in public bathrooms at this time and just trying to figure out like, okay, just a little more, a little less crack probably, and a little bit, just a lot of, yeah, you know, because if I could get a prescription for this and then keep it under wraps, like I think I'll be all right. Mm-hmm. Nope. Never worked out. No.
Some of us are just not wired that way. You one little sniff or taste or whatever.
So you put 9 months together.
Yeah. That's like the earliest time I remember trying to put some time together.
So did you have that thing where it's like, I'm just going to go ahead and have one?
Probably. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it started again, but probably just like, just have one.
Because I would go to treatment. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd been to treatment 20 times. And every time I was like in there, I had all this hope. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Model client. You know what I mean? Yeah. Did all my work for the most part, like at least the first few times. Mm-hmm. Went to all the classes, did all my work. And then the second I got out, that thing in my head said, this is great. You can do one. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. Yeah. And that one lasted 7 years.
That's a long time.
It was, yeah.
That's great.
No, that one.
One hit.
One hit lasted
Got
7
it.
years.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I never, after like 35, 40 days, this is the longest time I've ever had clean. So
How much time is it?
Coming up on 7 years.
Nice.
Yeah, next month it'll be June
Awesome.
7th, it'll be 7 years.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You got to give me a tattoo. We'll discuss that later. But okay, so you're doing little bits of treatment, little bit of that.
No, never did any treatment.
Never treatment.
No.
AA or anything?
No, I just said I can't drink. I'm not gonna drink for 9 months. And then I think what happened is I felt really lost and I had no friends because all my friends were fuck ups.
Yeah.
And I didn't have.
That gets
I was not doing anything with my life. It was. Yeah. And then shortly after that one time, I found skateboarding. And that's when I started. That's when I got into skateboarding a little later. So I think I started in around 2001, 2002, started skating. And that wasn't necessarily any good, but I do I love that I found it, but it was actually, it didn't help my alcoholism at all.
There's a lot of partying going on in skating.
The type of skateboarding I got raised in was that skateboarding and alcohol are hand in hand. It's skate and it's punk and it's metal and it's raw and fuck you if you don't skate, fuck you if you don't drink. Yeah. Oh, it actually got a lot worse. And that bad stint in my life, a lot of good came out of it, but that really bad, dark period was 6 years. And during that time, a lot of shit was going on. I mentioned, I was a high-functioning alcoholic, so I would get blackout drunk, wasted, but then I'd recover from that, and I'd be in school the next day, going to my classes. And I think I would take one or two classes a semester to slowly get back into it. And then by the end I was taking full semesters. But with skateboarding, I was doing a lot of things that would keep me busy. I have to be busy I have to always be doing something. I don't know how to chill, how to not do something. So I was always doing something with skating and then always doing something with the school, and somehow I managed to graduate. And when I did, I got a scholarship because I had entered some program, some Smarty program. If you did this thing, you entered this program and did a project, they gave you a scholarship grant at the end that you were supposed to use to continue your education, and it gave me $9,000. And I took that money and I opened my own skate shop. Yeah, I was I don't know if I don't know what I want to do with school, but I know I want to have a skate shop, definitely. So I went and opened my own skate shop, and I did that for a year and a half or something.
Where was this?
This was in McAllen, Texas.
Okay, McAllen.
And it was good, but the landlord did not like the setup that we had, and she did not renew my lease, but she didn't tell me. She didn't give me a warning ahead of time or anything. So I just lost my lease, lost everything.
That's
just fast. Yeah. Had to move. Well, I chose to move because I was still an active alcoholic. And I was struggling with this completely, totally abusive relationship that I was in. And I chose to move to Brownsville. I came to a point in my life where I was I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I lost my skate shop. It's the only thing I know I wanted to do, but I have this bachelor's degree. Maybe I should use it. So I applied to different jobs. And at one point the choice was between going to Alaska and going to Brownsville, Texas for the similar jobs. And I thought, I really fucking hate the snow, so I'm going to go to Brownsville. And that's why I went to Brownsville. And that's kind of where my current life all started. But yeah, I went to Brownsville and worked as a park ranger. Did that for a year. And I quit because I was at a point in my alcoholism where I was sleeping under my desk.
Oh, shit.
I would show up to work so fucked up, so hungover, that I would sleep under my desk and have to wake up and take these kids on tours and like look at birds, and it was like hot, and I had like alcohol shits, and I'd be like, hold on, I'd like run into the woods and go fucking shit myself, come back with one sock, it was bad. I was like, what am I doing?
Wow.
And somehow I'm still managing to like do it.
The kids that were like, you smell funny.
No, and thank God I never got busted, but like I would have been in really big trouble had I gotten busted. And that wasn't the first time. Like that wasn't a singular incident. I did that often because you just get, the shits in the morning after you've been drinking all fucking day.
Happens.
Oh, it was very embarrassing.
With heroin, you never get the shits.
Yeah, you don't.
A good thing.
I've heard people have like loaves of bread stuck in them.
Did you have a loaf of bread stuck in you, Carlos?
Yeah.
He told me a story. He has a friend that had to have it surgically removed.
Damn. Surgically removed? It's a big
piece of
pile of
shit bread.
Yeah.
Shit bread.
Yeah.
So how did this whole thing come to be?
So I moved to Brownsville, and I will fast forward over all the details, but like definitely needed to get sober. And as a way out, I said, let me go get my master's. I had applied to his program. They're like, we'll give you a full ride scholarship to go to school if you go to school. So
you have this thing to focus on.
Yes.
This thing that
you're seeing a trend.
Yeah.
Like
you're having this thing that you're focusing on, and it's working.
So I quit before I could get fired. Went to get my master's, focused on it. And that's when I really sat down and had big discussions with myself about needing to quit, because in those last years of McAllen running the skate shop and moving to Brownsville, I really liked cocaine a lot. And I was doing a lot of it. And it had just like skyrocketed my alcoholism, because you can drink a lot more. Yeah. And I really love that combo. That's my power combo.
Yeah. The happy meal.
Yeah, it's my happy meal. Really love it. So I couldn't be a student. I could not be a master's student and still do all this cocaine and alcohol. So and also I was getting like stomach issues. I was like developing like pretty severe IBS, to where I would like go into the classroom and I'd like start shaking, and I'd have to get up and leave. And I just remember like crying and being like, why can't I fucking do this? And my professor was like, well, like, what's going on? What can I do to help you? And I was like, I don't think it's you. Like, it's me. I need to figure out what I'm doing. Right. So I like said, I'm not going to do cocaine anymore. Stop doing cocaine. And then wasn't ready to give up alcohol. But
the problem is, for a lot of people, if they stop doing coke and then drinking and coke was their thing, they still kind of drink like they were doing coke, and they could stay up like that. And then the blackouts come a lot quicker. And then
well, I wasn't able to fully stop. So I'd party on the weekends.
Okay.
And I would get really suicidal. And it's probably because like I was just doing too much now, and then not having it at all, and like going, like not knowing that I was going through like
brains
withdrawal
going
systems.
Cuckoo caca on what's
it was
happening.
Shitty.
Yeah.
I was really hard. And so I just spent my time like focusing on that. And I had a lot of fun times, and I made some friends. I'm like not discussing that part at all. But one part is important, because it kind of leads me to Carlos. And where we are today is when I moved to Brownsville and I didn't have any friends yet, I started a bike club down there, a bike meetup. And that's how I met all my friends down there. And we all started riding bicycles together. And I met this dude named Noe.
Were you doing like fixed gear bike?
Well, you met his wife first, right?
I met his wife first, yeah. What'd you say?
Were you doing like fixed gear bikes?
Fixed
or just
gear?
whatever?
Some people did fixed gears, yeah. I just did a whatever kind of chafa bike I had. But I would ride into town. It was like 20-minute ride just to get to the main city, just to make friends. I didn't have any friends. And one or two people, we would meet up and we'd ride to a bar and drink a little bit. And then it grew into this movement, like critical mass ride. And there was like 50 to 100 people sometimes. And that's where I met some of my first friends, Ayla, which is Noe's wife, Ayla, and some other people. They became my very good friends when I was down there, but they weren't in school with me. So those were my party weekend friends. So I had this like I've always had this like double kind of life thing. And school, I did a thesis program. And so my professor was like, look, if you want to get out of school this year, you need to complete your thesis. If you don't finish your thesis, who fucking knows how long you're going to be in here? So I buckled down, and I was really trying to quit drinking. I was like abstaining, so that I could graduate. And I remember I had this breakdown moment because I had seen my parents and then they fought again. I think I had like a couple days sober, and then I had gone to home to see my parents and they had this weird fight. And I came back to Brownsville and I was like crying because it fucks me up.
Yeah.
And I had called my professor and I said, I have this like brand new bottle of tequila and I really want to fucking drink it, but I've been sober for like a month or something. And he was like, you need to take the top off and pour it all down the drain. And I remember that moment when I poured it down the drain. I was like making these conscious decisions, like I don't want to drink anymore. And it was like, today it's so easy. You know, once you put time together, it's so easy. But like back then in the struggle, it's so hard.
Yeah, because you don't have anything that you really are protective over. Like it's that was one huge thing that my sponsor taught me. He's like, it's really hard in the beginning to grasp this, but the more time you put together, the more protective you're going to be of it. So for me, it was just like, I think at like 60 days, I was taking the bus everywhere and I was coming back to the halfway house I was living in. And then there was these people I would leave and they were in the same, and I would leave for like 10, 12 hours. I would leave and come back and they were in the same place playing video games, you know, getting food delivered, and that's what they were doing. So for me, I was like, well, at least today I took a bus, I went to a meeting, I took steps to get my driver's license back, I applied for a better job, and it was just like all these things started happening, and I started seeing what was happening. Even, you know, they were staying clean, but they weren't doing anything about it. So I was like, I need to protect this thing because every day I'm doing a little bit more and it's starting to build up. So that was a huge thing on my end. It was, you know.
You're being proactive.
Being proactive and taking pride in that.
Yeah.
To be like, you know, I did do this today. I did.
That's
and then
great.
you start to sleep a little bit better and then you start to get a little bit of self-esteem, which is a big thing.
Yeah. I would say the time I've had in recovery program was so much different and better than me being out there trying to do it on my own.
Right.
That sucked. I didn't, and people can do it. It's possible, but it sucks. It's hard.
Yeah, because you don't get that community. You don't get somebody to lean on. You don't get, even if you go to meetings every now and then and you're not even like that involved with the group, you go in and like you say like, oh, hey, I got like 30 days today, and people clap for you and talk to you afterwards. And, you know, you get a little bit of community support.
Yeah,
which is
the community
important.
support's good. And also I feel like you're given tools.
Yeah.
And like a little toolbox is given you. It's your choice to use it, but but once you start using it, it's like you can put together this whole new life for you.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's like a gift, and I'm so grateful for that. That's why I'm sober today. Just that being shown how to be grateful. But
How long do you have sober right now?
I think I'll have 8 years in September. Yeah, it's 8. I think 8. Yeah, 8 years.
So when did this hunk come into the picture?
So he came in. So Brownsville led me to this hunk right here. So I was, because of this bike ride, I met this girl named Ayla and a bunch of other people who became really good friends. And then Ayla started dating one of the dudes that had joined our bike ride, and his name was Noe. And Ayla and Noe became a unit. And I would always, and Ayla and Noe liked to drink too, so I would always go to their house and party with them and drink, and we became really good friends. They're like family. Back then, they were family. And little did I know they'd become future family. But man, we used to party at Noe's house all the time. And then like one day out of the blue, Noe says, hey, my brother's going to come home for Thanksgiving. Does anyone want to get tattooed? And all of us were in the room like, what the fuck? You have a brother? He'd never talked about his brother, never. And we had been all up in Noe's house. There ain't no pictures of his brother anywhere, nothing. He was like this secret person he kept, I don't know, like he was going to come out of this like hidden door in the closet or something. Like, who is this guy? Well, he was like, well, he hasn't been here because he's in jail. He had to go to jail. He's a drug addict. And so we were like, well, tell us more about what do you mean he tattoos? He was like, yeah, he's going to come home and he's going to tattoo. Does anyone want to get in line? And I was like, well, I mean, I want to get tattooed. Is he hot? Like, wait, is he cute? And no, he was like, absolutely fucking not. You cannot talk to my brother, Kat. He is completely off limits. You're a fucking party animal, and he is trying to be sober, and he is a real addict. He doesn't need anything. You better fucking stay away from him. He didn't need anything to do with you. And I was like, well, tell me more.
So that was your interest got peaked there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's off limits?
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, right? Who is this guy? Send me a picture. So I think he had sent me a picture, and I was like, dude, I am way fucking interested in getting tattooed. So I think...
It was love at first sight before even seeing him, huh?
Yeah.
You saw that picture, and you were like, I'm getting tattooed by this man.
Yep. And so I think... No, he went, he reported back to Carlos and was like, hey, these are my friends. They're interested in getting tattooed. And so I think Carlos was like doing some background work. Well, like talk to them and see what they want to get. And then I don't know why, but he was like, who's this cat person? And so Noe sent him the most unflattering picture of me that he possibly could have to his brother. And he was like, I'm into it.
You've been locked up.
I've been in prison. Yeah.
He'd been locked up, yeah. So he was like, hey, let me get her number. So I think that at that point...
numbers. We're talking on social media or Snapchat.
When he says social media, I think he means Snapchat.
Isn't that social media?
Yeah, but I was just trying to... I'm sorry. I was trying to describe the platform that we were using back then.
Somehow, yeah, we started kind of chatting.
I think you were texting me.
Yeah, when we were chatting on there. And
you definitely texted me first, and you were like, I think, do you want a tattoo? And I was like, yes. And I think
But then you bailed.
Well,
you said you didn't want to get tattooed or something, right?
No. Let's tell the real story.
I don't remember.
The real story. You said you didn't want to tattoo me.
Oh,
I didn't have a lot of tattoos back then.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to tattoo me.
What did you want? Your hand tattooed or something?
No.
We started kind of flirting, and then I was like, well, we're gonna do one or the other,
Okay, you didn't want to mix business and pleasure,
right?
Or did you want to see more elusive?
I don't know. Hey, man, I mean, I was pretty newly sober.
We started
too.
talking.
I mean, I had like 2-3 years,
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of common interests. He was like, oh, you're trying to be sober too? And I was like, actually, yes, I am very seriously trying to be sober.
She had a lot of questions about why I was sober and what I did and what led me there. And
I thought it was very cool that he was sober for that long.
We had a lot of common things. We were both really into riding bikes and exercising and,
skateboarding.
Skateboarding. We weren't really skating that much then. I mean, I kind of messed around, but we weren't like
You put it down for, well, obviously you were in prison.
Yeah, yeah.
Skating in prison, but.
Yeah, and then before that I was homeless. So, anyway, so.
I found out he was vegan, and I was like, fucking sign me up. Yeah. I want to be with that dude.
I hadn't met another vegan yet.
And then he liked punk rock
that I was
music.
attracted to or whatever. And we were like both in,
We liked the same music.
Oh, do you like this band? Oh, do you like this band? Do you like this band? We'd be chatting or whatever. And
what was the first band y'all vibed on together?
I think it was like Depeche Mode for some reason.
I know what it is.
What?
It was Range Rats.
Oh, okay.
You played Range Rats for me, and I was like, oh, I fucking love this.
We were just like we'd be chatting, and we would, you know what I mean. We'd talk about what music we like or whatever, and then we just had a lot of common interest. But I specifically remember like a lot of questions about sober and how I was sober and how it was before. And I remember that when I came down to work.
So he came down.
I came down to tattoo, and I didn't have a car for a few years. I didn't have a license for a few years because of my crime or whatever. So anyway, so she kind of helped me out, and she like kind of drove me around and stuff, and like to the shop, and then I remember you asking, you were like, so you don't drink at all? And I was like, no. And you were like, what about this? Is this okay or not? Cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Cigarettes. And I was like, definitely not into cigarettes. For the first time in my life, I was like, I'm doing everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not
I was still smoking. That's another thing. I've been smoking since I was a little kid too.
Yeah.
I think
she doesn't
same
smoke
time.
anymore. She hadn't smoked in years.
Did you used to smoke cigarettes, though, didn't you?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But when you quit everything, you quit everything.
Right. And like, I'd been to prison twice. And I remember the first time I went and I got out and I had to go live in the halfway house and all that. And I remember as soon as I got there, I went and did all the things that you weren't supposed to do. And I was like, who's got the cigarettes? You know what I mean? And I was like sober and I was like going to meetings and stuff. But, also like the first thing my friends took me to do was like to a strip club and smoke cigarettes.
Part
like,
B.
Yeah, like
that sounds like a sentence to me. That doesn't sound fun.
You know what I mean?
At all.
Like, yeah, and so this time I was doing things a lot different. And I was gonna buy the ticket and take the ride and do the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not gonna smoke. I'm gonna take care of myself as best I can.
Well, I think I remember you telling me the reason that you kind of stopped smoking was because you were locked up at the time. You weren't supposed to smoke in prison, and you were trying to follow the rules.
Yeah,
and that's why.
And it really sucked, man. Like holding your head over the toilet, like
flushing it,
and then these guys are looking out. You know what I mean? And they were like, "Hey, we got more cigarettes. You want to come smoke?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And they were like, "What are you, snitch?" And I was like, no, I'll just be the lookout.
Yeah.
I just don't want to smoke.
Busy at your AA classes.
Yeah. AA classes. Yeah. But yeah, and so we
hung out.
We hung out, yeah, and we really liked each other.
Instead of getting tattooed, we just hung out.
But it was
ate some food. We did some workouts.
Yeah,
remember
we worked out. Yeah, we
around?
went running. We worked out together, and we ate some food, and I think we kissed.
It was like fun.
Maybe.
To hang out. It was fun for me to finally like hang out with like a vegan.
Somebody who's
sober.
vegan, somebody you could go and eat together with, somebody who
I was in love.
You could play music
Love at
with.
first sight.
It's, there's a lot of common things in my relationship here, like the music that we liked, and what I picked up on, it wasn't just one type of music, which I think was important. It's one thing if you're listening, it was all the different types of music, because I remember... me and Gabby, we started Elliott Smith, like our mutual love for Elliott Smith. I have my tattoo here, and she saw it, and she was like, "Is that?" She had mentioned Elliott Smith. I was like, "I have an Elliott Smith tattoo," and like that went on, and then we started talking about all this other stuff, like TV on the radio, and then I think when it really clicked was when I was like, "Listen, I have to admit something to you. I have an unironic love for Oasis," and she was like, "Me too," and I was like,
It's over.
Yeah, Oasis sealed the deal. But yeah,
I
so
love his music selection. It's great.
We had the same diet essentially, which was like we could eat together, we could go out and eat no matter what, we could listen to the same music. Yeah.
Right.
Do you feel like y'all are the same person?
We are this. You want to hear something fucking crazy? So, my nickname was Jason Taco Bello. And hers was Gabby Del Taco. Wow. So it was like all these little things that were like, are we
crazy.
The same fucking person sometimes? And it, and there's definitely there is definitely some things that led me to believe like this is a little weird.
Yeah.
But like
that's cute.
So many things, and it's like so many little things.
It was meant to be, sounds like it.
So it's you guys too. I mean, you guys were brought together.
I believe we are.
Cosmically is the way that I think of it sometimes. Because it's just like there was no way. Because if you look at the direction and how we met, there is no like linear line that says this should have happened. There is all these like just little blips and bloops and things that it's like, oh, well, I couldn't catch this, whatever it was, like all these little things that shouldn't have happened that like had us meet. So when we did, it was just kind of like, this is supposed to happen, I think. So I believe in that.
I'm glad that we met when we met and not in our party phases, because it's so nice now to live the sober life together.
Yeah. So you have not only somebody who you're interested in, somebody who's making your heart flutter a little bit, but somebody who you see like that the recovery stuff is possible. He's done it, and are you there yet? Are you not there yet? Are you still kind of...
Well, definitely did... He was my inspiration for not picking it up, because I said, well, if I pick up a drink, he's definitely not going to like me. Like like it'll be the end of us like kind of dating. And I remember when he did come to visit, and I had asked him like, so no cigarettes either? And I hadn't fully quit cigarettes yet. And I remember he was like busy doing a tattoo, and I went outside to like try to smoke one, and I felt this weird like thing that I was like hiding something from him, and I did not like that feeling.
Right.
So I like quit smoking cigarettes, and then I also like I didn't drink beer because I didn't want to like hide that from him, and I wanted to be I did want to be sober anyway. It just
Right.
gave me extra, like a little support that I needed.
Yeah.
So then when I moved to Austin, well, so he was just visiting to tattoo and he went back to Dallas and I had just wrapped up my master's and I went on this crazy long bike ride from Seattle, Washington down to San Francisco where I went on like a solo bike ride and it was a lot of time to think. Like it was by I had like started with a buddy and then I told my buddy, and I wasn't drinking. And then when we got to Portland, he convinced me that it was going to be okay to drink, right? I don't need to be convinced too hard though.
Right.
So I drank, got fucking blackout wasted, pissed on the bed. And I woke up and said, like, what the fuck? I had put some time together.
How much time did you have?
I don't know. Days, weeks, months. Probably months.
Okay.
Probably months. I met him in Thanksgiving and I was sober and I did this in the summer. So 6 months?
Okay.
6 months. And the reason I wasn't even going to drink, but it was so stupid. They were like, we made this beer ourselves. And I was like, well, if you made it, I got to try it. I love hoppy beer. And they made some like homebrew hoppy beer. So I drank way too much, pissed on the bed, woke up and was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Was it their bed, the people who made you the beer that you pissed in their bed? They're like, well, I gave you back the beer that you made for me.
Yeah,
back,
so I do
hence
shit
from
like that
where
all
it
the
came.
time.
Yeah.
And I remember telling myself, like, why? Like, I found this person, he's sober, he's happy, he's vegan. Like, I don't need to live this life that I'm living. I can change if I want to. And so I went on this, I was like, I don't want any more beer. And I finished the bike ride by myself. Went all the way down to San Francisco, had a lot of fucking time to think and really just enjoy being independent. And when I just like missed him.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be with him.
Did you think it was a big deal when she told you that she ended up drinking?
I don't think I told him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I don't even think that we didn't start talking until after your bike ride.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it wasn't
we weren't
official
together.
yet. But
No, we weren't together at all.
Oh, you had just met.
I had gone down to the valley and to Brownsville and seen her and seen my family, and then she had come to Dallas once or twice.
That was like after bike ride.
Okay.
And then I went. Well, I probably went and saw her like twice, and then she came and saw me, and then she did the bike ride.
When I saw him in
between.
November for the tattoo, I couldn't get him out of my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, he's the one.
That's it.
We were definitely like talking a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You know.
We hadn't hooked up. No, we weren't committed.
You were convinced though already. You were.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I did the bike ride.
And it was mutual. It was definitely mutual, but there was something inside of me saying like that, like I had to focus on, like I was in a different city, like, and I was like, my goal was to get back to Austin and, have a kid, have a daughter. And so it was like,
Yeah.
I really wanted to be with her and I wanted like to be back home, and I was only there to complete this program.
So you were thinking about her, but you knew that you had other shit to
For sure. I
focus
thought
on.
she was the coolest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, and I also didn't want to interfere with her schooling because I thought that was so sick.
Yeah.
That like someone could actually go to college and like go and
I think we hadn't talked about, like, after my bike ride, I was going to go to this PhD program. That's why I was taking this really long sabbatical to before the program. And then I went to Florida and what I was studying was like not interesting. It's not what I wanted to study at all. But because I was given a full ride scholarship, like I had to study what the scholarship was for. And it was so not interesting to me. It was actually called Talksicology.
Oh,
yeah.
full circle.
Yeah. Funny, right?
Oh.
It was toxicology. It was about marine toxicology, but that's not what I was passionate about.
Right.
So I just dropped out of that program and I was like, 7 more years of this. Like, no, I just want to I want to be in love.
Yeah.
That's more attractive to me right now. So I think I had talked to him on the phone.
you said, hey, my friend Heather lives in Austin and I want to move there to hang out with her and be with her. If I move there, will you hang out with me? And I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I moved
Yeah.
to Austin, packed up my shit, moved to Austin. And we had one really nice big date before that. When I got home from my big crazy bike ride and I knew I was going to get my PhD, on my way to drive my ass to Florida, because I drove alone, I stopped in Austin to see him. And we went on this date and it was really fun.
I had this funky ass little efficiency that like rented to convicted felons. It was like the only one I could find.
Right.
And there was a bunch of people in recovery that lived in that apartment complex and somehow got in. And yeah, she came to see
But
me.
the
at my
date
little
we had was
efficiency.
really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
really
fun. Yeah,
cool.
we had a great time. She stopped and saw me.
We went to Casa de Luz
yeah.
and ate.
And we ran on.
We did a
crazy-
workout before
ru-
that, actually, right?
We
Yes.
ran.
We went running. We went to Lady Bird Lake and
Oh,
we
no.
ran the whole fucking lake.
No, that was you already lived here.
Okay.
We did go on a run. We had like on a 5-mile run. And
We
then
went kayaking with Lisa.
And then we rode our bikes. And I made you go up that hill.
Yes, he made me go on this crazy run, and I was like, okay, I'm fucking hungry. So then he took me to Casa de Luz, and he was like, if you lived here, we can eat, if you lived here, we could eat this every day. And I was like,
I'm in.
I'm fucking in. Casa de Luz is so good. And then he took me on this bike ride up this like crazy Mount Benel area. It's such a brutal bike ride. And he was like, it's just a little further. I got to show you something. So we went all the way up to this hill, and I was like, what is it? And he was like, that's it. Now we come down. No.
No.
Nothing. Out of a
Nothing.
movie. There's
I
something
just-
I want to show you up here. Mwah.
No, I just wanted to. I wanted
Just
her
balls
to.
to the wall, and he wanted
I
to go to
wanted-
the fucking top. And I was
I wanted to see if
tired.
she could make it to the top of that hill.
He was testing me.
And she passed?
I passed, yeah. I went all the way up to the top, and then we went all the way home. And I might have stayed the night because one of those, we definitely went kayak. We took his daughter to kayak.
Mm-hmm.
That was really fun. And then I woke up the next day, and I fucking went to Florida. And I was like so sad,
Yeah.
crying the whole way.
So,
No,
now
you weren't.
so now you're in a long distance relationship.
Were you really crying?
No, we were not even in a relationship. It was like a date. It was just
Okay.
like a date.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
He didn't want to be in a relationship.
I could tell by
Well-
the way he's
well-
just hanging out.
Well,
Yeah.
a long distance relationship.
Yeah, he didn't want that.
She's like, oh, I'm moving to college for 7 years,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I'm over here like I'm living in a fucking efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what do I have to offer really? An
Yeah.
efficiency, and a bicycle. Didn't even have a car.
You have so much to offer. You're a
Mhm.
Well, I was really trying to like,
Build-
I
build
didn't.
yourself.
Yeah, I needed to like, really like, feel somewhat grounded. You
So
know?
so you went back to school, you started working on yourself. At what point were you guys like, okay.
What, 4 months later I came
Okay,
back?
so it didn't take that long. You guys
No.
spent-
Yeah, there was like a few months, and
4
we
months?
Yeah.
chatted a whole bunch. You know.
Yeah, all the time.
and you're
checking on
staying
each other,
you're
like-
staying sober at this point.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then was that something that was contingent for you? Was her staying sober for you
What
guys
does
being
that-
in a relationship?
What
Like
does that word mean?
it means that she had to stay sober for you guys to be in a relationship?
I definitely didn't want to. Like, I had kind of like dated other people, or like gone on other dates and stuff, and the minute I smelled alcohol, it was kind of like I was like,
I'm out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like cigarettes or something. You know what I mean? I just like, I just didn't
Doesn't
want
like
any,
Depeche Mode.
Yeah, don't like Depeche Mode.
Get the
You're
fuck
out.
out.
Yeah, yeah. What do you mean? I
Yeah. So
Right.
4 months later, you
About 4 months,
you,
I think.
you come back to Austin,
think so.
Uh-huh. I packed up everything and moved back.
and then
I was going
She
to live
said
with
she was going to live with her friend.
I was going to live with my friend
now you
Heather.
got
And
two
she's-
people in efficiency.
She stopped in and she
No,
never left.
he told me to come over.
Can I keep this box here?
Yeah.
Can I keep this toothbrush here?
He told me to.
Yeah.
No, you just moved right in.
That is not how this
Yes.
story is going to go.
Yes, she came and then she just never left.
See,
Yep.
you-
For real, that's how it is. I moved into his tiny 1-bedroom efficiency.
Not a 1-bedroom, just an efficiency.
Oh yeah, just
Just
an
an efficiency.
It was just an efficiency.
Yeah.
It was like
it was
this big as
tiny.
this room.
It was like me, her, and my daughter.
In an
Because my daughter would stay like, she's always kind of stayed like 2 or 3 days out of
Right.
the week, you know.
with
we had-
all our bikes.
And we would at first we were all sleeping on the same bed, like
Mhm.
a pallet type thing, a little like a futon type thing, and then she just got a little bit bigger, and then we made like a little thing on the floor for her.
She
we
got
just
older.
all slept in the same like. It's pretty funny.
And we would roll it all up in the morning, and
Do our little
like,
workouts
doing-
and make our little smoothies.
we had our
and-
bikes. And
See, I never knew a lot of this stuff about you, which is super cool because now you guys are both successful business owners. I'd say successful.
Mhm.
You guys got your shit together. You guys have a kid now. You guys are parents to one of my favorite homies. Little Cheyenne. That's all.
Oh man, he loves you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
And sometimes he'd rather be with you than me.
Yeah, I love when you guys pull up to the
Heartbreaking.
skate park and he just runs away from you guys, and I'm gonna go.
He loves his Uncle Jason.
Gonna go chill with
he
them.
really likes you. It's weird because he loves him
Loves Uncle Jason.
and
Arta?
Javier in Florida,
Oh, okay.
and they're both from Florida. I wonder if it has something to do with that.
Maybe.
They're both Latinos.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, but I could claim Florida. I was there long enough.
I've always just kind of thought you were from Florida.
Yeah,
Florida man.
I look like Florida man.
So
But yeah, so we know about your business endeavors now. Your company.
I will say this back to the recovery part
Yeah,
of
please.
this thing is when she showed up and she was there with me all the time, and I was going to meetings a lot back then. I was pretty new, in the first few years, couple years. She would always ask, like, what happens to the thing that you're going to? Because I wasn't like, yo, I'm in AA. I was like, oh, I'm going to this meeting.
Yeah, you're not
going
trying to
this meeting
push it. You're not trying to
at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was just kind of like, and I remember her saying, how are you just so chill about things? And she saw something in me and wanted to know what I had done to get to where I was at,
The attraction, not the promotion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she started asking about it, and like, what happens there? Is it like a God thing? And I was like, not at all. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, of course there's the, what do you call it? Like, stigma, you know what I mean? That it's like, that it's some kind of like religious thing, but
It's not.
And so she came to me to a meeting for the first time. And I remember she was pretty like freaked out, you know what I mean? And I want to say they even like called on you. And then she went and talked to a woman, or I'm sure the women went to her, and then told her about a women's meeting, and she literally that next Sunday, she was there at the Sunday women's meeting, and started to get involved like that. And, found out what a sponsor was and found out what the steps were and did all that,
Did that start making things make a little bit more sense to you
Yeah.
start putting some pieces together?
Like overnight. It was amazing.
That's
yeah. I had found the group that I needed to be a part of. Yeah, it was awesome. It's hard to go and get humble and share but it's so good and it's life-changing. So yeah, I remember struggling with this incident that had occurred early in our relationship, like when I had just moved, and I like needed some answers. And he was like, "Why don't you go to a meeting? Like you could talk about that kind of stuff at the meeting. Go." And so I went to the meeting, and I did like what he said, like met some people and found a sponsor and went through the 12-step program several times. Not without relapsing. You just like, finish it, and then the next year you do it again. Found out what it was like to sponsor people, and I just remember it was a huge relief. Like, I don't have to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And it's possible to do it. And it was amazing. And it felt so good to just be sort of like set free from the bondage of alcoholism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, getting out of self is
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those things that sometimes when I know I have to do it and I'm so wrapped up in my own shit that I'm just like, God, I know all I have to do right now is do some service work,
Right.
work with somebody, but God, I just want to stay in my shit for just a little bit, and then, but once you get that out of the way, it's just like this is why I keep doing this. There's and for people who don't know, when you go to a any sort of 12-step program. It's one thing to just go to meetings, because a lot of people new in recovery will do that. Just go to meetings, But then it's like once you start to get involved and people are relying on you, and then you get sponsees and people call you and ask you to do things for them. And it's not necessarily the things that you always want to do, but it's like, I never would have gotten clean if it weren't for people doing this stuff for me. So it is my obligation to make sure that I'm there for the next guy when he needs it, and it's like a perpetual motion thing, because I know you're still active with your sponsees and your groups and and all that, and that keeps you healthy, right?
It's the most important. It's the most important thing, you know.
You wouldn't have anything.
I stay. I mean, I try to stay as. I mean, obviously, like, you know, things happen. You know, I don't work in recovery. I don't work in this field. Like my work, it definitely takes me away from it. I think I get to be of service in a lot of different ways, and you know, I don't go to meetings all the time. I maybe like once every 2 weeks. You know, I get to go, and I definitely always say yes, whatever it is. If there's someone that needs to be sponsored, or if there's something that needs, you know, and I'm able and I'm here, you know what I mean? I will definitely do it. So, you know, and I only have one sponsee right now. It's been like that for a couple of years now. But he's great. Yeah. You know, and I call my sponsor. I mean, I just started doing the work again just a couple of weeks ago, going through the work again. Nice. So, it's a good little refresher, and to see, you know what I mean? Like if you go through these 12 steps, you know, 2 years ago, it's going to look a lot different. It should look a lot different. If you got the same shit going on, then
you're not doing, you're doing something wrong. Yeah.
You need to assess this, you know?
It's evolving.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about Cherries Wheels on this podcast before. Why don't you tell us what Cherries Wheels is?
Sure. Yeah. It's a skateboard wheel company that I started in August of 2022. And, you know, I don't think that I'd be able to be managing, to start something and to manage it if I didn't have the sobriety that I have today. So I'm super grateful for that. I think it put me in a place where I can be able to function and manage this the right way. But yeah, it turns out, well, I knew I wanted to start a skateboard company and get back into the skate industry. Like I had been in it for a little while when I was younger, and I've always just really liked it. And I knew I didn't want a board company. There's a lot of great board companies out there already, and I thought it'd be really cool if we could just like add to this setup and like one day have a whole complete skateboard and it's all female owned parts. So what are we lacking? I haven't heard of any female owned wheel, so let's try to do it. And it turns out we're the first ever, so that's pretty rad. So we're doing it. We're like the female owned skateboard wheel company. We got a nice little team that reps us, and we're doing cool shit for the community.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of events, a lot of meetups, a lot of stuff like that.
The best events.
Yeah.
The funnest events.
Trying to have a lot of fun.
And they were just in Thrasher.
Oh, yeah, you had something.
Well, on the drunk drawer, yes.
That still counts.
Yes.
That still counts.
Yes.
100%.
Thrasher drunk drawer.
That is legit.
And guess who's doing
it was definitely fun to be on
Guess who's doing a slash grind on there?
You?
Oh, you didn't see?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh my God.
You got to share it with me.
He made it to Thrasher.
You made it to Thrasher.
A poser.
Next,
a real
from
poser.
A poser to not the front cover of Thrasher, but inside.
Junk drawer.
In the junk
Somewhere,
drawer.
you gotta
it's
dig.
in there.
That's
in there for life.
That is. Do you have a Thrasher tattoo?
No, dude.
Well, you need one now.
Hey, what do you mean no?
That wasn't a stupid question.
No, I don't have a Thrasher tattoo.
Yet.
I have one.
Okay. Oh, you do?
I have it.
Oh,
I have
there you go.
two.
Okay.
I have
She's a real skateboarder.
All right. Well, that's good. So we're getting close to time here, guys. This is going.
To pee so bad.
Okay, so before we do that, we do what we like to call our rapid fire question time.
It's rapid fire question time.
Do you
get to ask him questions,
or do I get to ask you now?
You could. You know what? You want to switch it around and ask me one? You could go ahead and ask me one. That's fine.
No, I want to hear yours.
Okay.
I'm not used to it. I
I
don't even remember what they were last time. I know you definitely put me on the spot with a lot of them, and I was like,
I might even ask you ones about each other now. So you can answer. So
like Love Boat shit.
Yeah, do you have it written out in your head?
No. I'll rip
straight up.
Usually I have a couple that I would go to, but I've never done the two before.
Interesting.
What is one song that he plays that you wish you would never play again?
Oh shit!
Oh,
Damn, I didn't know you were gonna go like that. I thought it was gonna
Dang.
go the other way.
Oh,
I don't know.
It's
What's
hard, right?
that you play that I wish you would never
or
play?
band or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Man, I am thinking because I do like like a lot of his music. I think that would have been a great question for him because I play a lot
Queens
of weird.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
I know he hates Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have an answer
Okay,
for you.
all right.
I kind of like everything he plays.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of one that I played. You were like, no way.
Oh, there was this one song, but I don't want to say anything stupid. So
All right.
Yeah,
So
no.
you like all of his music.
I do. Yeah, he has a great choice of music.
Who could Ollie hire?
Oh, him for sure. He could ollie over me.
Who can ollie higher? I stopped ollieing when I was 42.
Did you? You
Yeah.
need to start
Not fucking
again.
true at all.
I know, but I don't like ollie over things anymore.
Okay.
I ollie onto things,
That's fair enough.
you know.
So, okay. So I think I've asked you, I might have asked Carlos this question before, but so Ben and Jerry's, this is Joseph's go-to question. Ben and Jerry's comes to you, Kat, for a signature ice cream.
Yes.
What's
Cocaine
it, what,
and tequila. Just kidding.
What's in it and what's it called?
Oh man.
Shit.
Ooh, I love caramel. I love crunchy bits. There's got to be some crunchy bits in there, and then some caramel stuff in there, and maybe some like cookie bits, and a vanilla. Probably like a vanilla base. I'm not a chocolate based person.
What's it called?
Caramel McTwist.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'll take that one. That's good. Yeah,
Who's the bigger skate nerd?
definitely Carlos.
For sure, her. No, she knows everything. She's like, oh, what? In this video in 1993, so and so was skating, and the music was this.
Yeah.
She's that person about the videos, and like you guys.
In the
You guys
room,
are
it's you. It's definitely you.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
I'm
the biggest
I am
skater.
the biggest
But,
skate.
but
Yes.
like she could talk to you about that stuff where I'm like, fuck, I don't know, dude. I was fucking shooting.
When we
heroin.
were drinking, we used to play this really fun game where one person was drinking and they would say like the name of a skater, Sal Barbier.
Mhm.
Okay, and the next person had to. Well, it was also in alphabetical order. So the first person had to
okay.
say A. So it could have been like Alex Gall, and then the next person would have had to have started. Would say a skater with the so last name is G. So the next skater would. The first name had to start with G.
G. Okay.
And then whatever his last name was, so let's say Garrett or who starts with the G.
Gershon Mosley.
Okay, so then the third person would be like skater with an M, right? And it would just go around in a big circle and we'd all be drinking and you have to drink until you could think of the name. And we everybody knew everybody's name and it was super fun, super skate nerd drinking game.
All right. So here's a question of both you guys. What's the secret?
To what?
To what, dude? The ollie?
I don't know. I forgot.
To a
about
happy
all-
relationship.
Doing shit like this is fun. Keeping it cool, fun. I think for us, it's definitely our sobriety, and respect. Like I really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's really cool. And
That's a big thing to actually like you know what I mean? When you guys.
like I think he's a really good human. He's a really good person. And
He's a pretty good dude.
yeah.
I think for me, like I'm pretty, like, I want a lot of my partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yesterday was Mother's Day, so we went and like we just went to a restaurant and talked.
Yeah.
Mainly, I listened.
Shut the fuck up.
No, seriously, that's the best
My
thing.
mom.
Because sometimes Gabby and I will get kind of frustrated. Like, what are we going to do? What do we want to go out and do? And then we find when we have the best times, it's like, let's just get in the car and go drive.
Yeah, just hang
Let's
out.
go for a drive. Listen
Enjoy
to
each
music,
other's
just hang out.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah, she.
And
I-
not in the house too. Like,
Yeah.
let's get out of the house, Go listen to music. Go find a fried pickle somewhere or something, and just
We
chill
plugged
out.
in. I plugged in her phone into my car, and I was like, "Let me hear what you've been listening to lately." And she like put me on to all this music and the new stuff she'd been listening, because we don't get to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
You know
do
what I
that
mean?
before this episode comes out, and then tell
Like-
Gabby it was my idea.
She works from home, and then I'm usually just I wake up
You're gone.
and I'm gone. You know what I mean? I'm gone all day, so it's like she's always listening to music, as I am too at work. We're always playing music in a tattoo shop,
Right on.
and every time I'm driving, so we got to like drive and like hold hands and went to a restaurant and had a great meal, and and we had no obligations. Like I think she was on her phone for a second. She was like, I got to answer this thing really quick
Yeah,
for something. And I was like, cool. And I got my phone. I was like, and I have to be off my phone by the time you're done, right?
Yeah,
and she was like, yes.
that's big. Yeah, that's big. All right. Well,
It's not very fair, but
do y'all have any closing words? Anything you'd like to add? Your public.
Well, thanks for having us on.
yeah.
Well,
This was
thanks.
fun.
Yeah, thanks for
getting
having us.
to
for
hang
sure.
out with
Yeah.
you for a
Yeah,
minute. You're always super busy. We don't really see you too much anymore.
Yeah, I need to start skating more.
Are you not skating?
It's been raining.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, you get a
But-
pass.
and I
At
was-
our skate plaza, we're going to build a thing over it, so it's going to drain the water off.
Damn, that's cool. No, but I had to go to Florida to take care of my mom.
Always in
Her
Florida.
house got flooded and
Yes.
everything, so I had to go and take care of that.
Aren't you moving her here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's coming
To live with you?
She'll be in Houston. I sound like I'm doing like like she has an event there. My mom will be in Houston this coming Wednesday. She'll be there for a couple weeks and visiting Austin. But yeah, she'll be in Houston and then coming to Austin for a little bit. And then she's got to decide what she wants to do long term. So that's something I get to show up for, is to help her move along with that. But you'll get to meet her then. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Mama Cabela.
I think that
Curbellos? Curbella.
Her name, yeah, that's my father's name, Cabello. But that's where the Curbs name came from. Yeah, exactly.
Shit. Yeah, I think it's important to always say that I for sure am always available for if someone's struggling or trying to get sober or anything, whatever it is that they're struggling with, that I'm all, those are that takes like priority in my life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like anyone listening or anyone out there that's like struggling and doesn't know where to begin, and maybe needs someone to listen, like I could always make time for that. So
Big.
yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here, coming back. We'll do this again as our first returning guest. You could do it again sometime. And to everybody listening out there, thank you again for listening, joining, like, follow, subscribe, whatever they always say at the end of these things. But as Joseph always says, there's 1,000 ways in, 1,000 ways out, and we hope you find yours.